Hello and welcome to Season 3 of Meet the Drapers, Brand Accelerator. Every week, 3 entrepreneurs pitch their startups to the Drapers and a VIP guest judge. Every episode, the judges declare a winner to move on to the semifinals.
And the winner is...
But here's the twist. You, the viewer, can invest in any and all of these startups. Like a company? Go to meetthedrapers.com and invest in their live crowdfunding campaign, and you can bring them back for the season finale.
The crowd is voting in 3 of our finalists.
This is your shot to invest like a venture capitalist. Now, let's make some money.
Welcome back to Meet the Drapers. We've got a great show for you today. This is going to be great fun. I'm Tim Draper. I'm a venture capitalist. This is my dad, Bill Draper. He's a pioneering venture capitalist, and he gives away money now through DRK Foundation. This is my sister, Polly Draper. She's an actress, but she also produces and directs and writes movies, so she's in effect an entrepreneur. And we have 2, count them, 2 great new guest judges. So we've got Ken Nguyen right here, who is the founder of Republic, and Republic is leading the charge in crowdfunding. And we have Chuck Pettit, and Chuck is driving the crowdfunding for this show. And so all of you out there in viewerland who want to fund these companies, and you'll go straight to Republic, and they will take you through all the things you have to do, and then you're going to be a venture capitalist. It's awesome. So if you see something you really, really have to invest in here, you've got the opportunity. So welcome to the show, Ken and Chuck. Tell us a little bit about crowdfunding, how we're going to change the nature of venture capital and how the world's working.
Our view is that, hey, the next Facebook, the next Uber, the very first 100 or 500 or 1,000 customers got to be able to invest and be in as part of the journey as well, not just the Peter Thiels and Tim Draper of the world who add so much value, but so do other stakeholders.
It's something that's always bothered me that here in the U.S., I've loved what I do, and I feel a little guilty because you have to be either a financial wizard or have $1 million to be an investor in these companies. But what you guys are doing is making that kind of breakthrough. We're making it so that all of you can actually invest just the way we do. So this is kind of an exciting major breakthrough, and these guys at Republic have made that possible.
I mean, one of the key features to our platform is that investors can invest as little as $10. Some companies may have a $50 or $100 minimum, but like Ken said, the first 100 or 500 or 1,000 customers of that company who believe in the product can actually participate in the upside in future exits or growth of the company.
You know, I think one value of the show is that it's an opportunity for inexperienced investors to get to hear how expert investors assess and think about these opportunities. They may or may not agree, but it's a rare opportunities that through a platform alone, they can't really avail themselves to that.
Terrific. And as you know, the winner of today's competition will move on to the semifinals, and the numbers start going higher and higher and higher. And the winner of the whole competition could end up with as much as $1 million in crowdfunding, and from us, $100,000, and from Brand Capital, another $200,000. That could pretty much help any kind of a startup get a real launch.
I wish I had this opportunity when I started Republic 3 years ago.
We can always get you on the show.
Next season, or next episode, yes.
And let's not forget, it's not just capital too, it's also, these founders are getting exposure to people who become their clients, their customers. They're going to be buying these products and services and using them. So yes, they can raise, almost $1.5 million through this show, but they will sell a lot of their products and services, and that can make or break a company.
Terrific. Let's bring on our first contestant. But before we do, let's look at what's going on behind the scenes.
I'm Manuela. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Alpha.
And I'm Renata. I'm the COO and co-founder of Alpha.
We're a B2B marketplace. We connect companies to the visual arts.
paintings, photography, drawings.
Yeah, anything that can be hung on your wall or put on your table. And through Alpha, we found a way to connect creators which wanted to sell their work and buyers which needed to fill their walls. We've placed over 1,100 pieces of art since inception in 2017.
And worked with over 7,000 artists.
Can't wait to meet the Drapers.
So, we've got our first contestant. Welcome to Meet the Drapers. Give us your pitch.
I'm Manuela, the CEO and co-founder of Alpha. We're a B2B marketplace connecting companies to the visual arts. And our mission is to revolutionize the way that everyone in the world interacts with art. Even though my background is in finance, I grew up surrounded by art. My father's an art dealer, my mother's an artist, and my uncle a gallery owner. So it's fair to say that I know a little bit about this market, even if I tried to go away from it. And I know how hard it is for professionals to furnish large-scale projects, and how hard it is for them to purchase works that are within budget and within a time frame. It's a challenge that we see designers dealing with every day. Stock imagery and posters just don't cut it anymore. They're detrimental to design concepts and will end up, looking cheap. So the old way of doing things is you would hire an art consultant or a gallery. They would charge a huge upfront fee and would only work with a handful of artists. So in comes the Alpha platform. Our platform uses image recognition in order to provide curated collections.
You said the art gallery would charge?
The art consultant. The art consultant, if you're going to engage them for a specific project, they're immediately going to bring you like a large retainer. So our platform really does create these curated collections, which are driven by a little bit of an algorithm that we wrote in-house. And what we do is we license artwork from artists all around the world, and we drop ship limited edition prints.
But go back to where you were. You've got galleries and you've got consultants.
Rudely interrupted.
Right. I wasn't going to say it, but now that you mentioned it.
So let's say, you're Larry Traxler, the head of design for Hilton, and he's running 2,300 new developments right now. This is an actual number for Hilton. He would have to, in every new city that he comes in, source an independent curator, pay a large upfront fee. She'll only work with a handful of artists, and will then actually outsource the production of the works within rooms, such as this one, which is actually printed by us, to a number of suppliers which are unknown to Hilton. This leads to multiple layers of complication and cost, so the project that is already one of 2,300. So when they come to us, we actually partner with a lot of independent curators. One is crowdsourcing, so the platform's always open, to in special projects with independent curators from all over the world that actually come to us and bring the portfolio of artists that they already believe in. But what we do is we provide that exact same quality and finish no matter where these people are. So it really creates the capacity for, people to be able to import and export culture without having to deal with logistics, cross-border taxation, and everything that would come associated with it. We work with literally all of the different sectors in the prop tech and real estate, from co-living companies such as Airbnb and Inviso, to hospitality companies such as Hilton, to channel partnerships with companies such as Gilt, Zola, Iporta, where we create white labels which are then displayed in their front ends and their platforms. So we can be as customized or as personalized as necessary for each of these different clients.
So if I'm West Elm, I go to your site, and I look through a bunch of art, and I say, I want that, that, and that, and then you somehow find them for me and get them there? Or are you doing more than that?
Much more than that. So if you're West Elm, you can fill out a simple questionnaire and say, I'm looking for green, or I'm looking for horizontal, I'm looking for this country, I'm looking for that, and the platform will self-populate a collection for you. An API will then select where this West Elm is, choose the closest framer and printer, print it there, and deliver it directly to West Elm's client, which is something that we do for Zola and Gilt, for example.
So Manuela, Republic owns an office space in San Francisco the size of this room. Very Spartan, artistically impaired. I want to decorate it with something soothing, maybe ocean, maybe mountain. How does this site even work? Do I go on, put in a description, and how would you know where my sofas, my tables are positioned to even suggest how many pieces of art and what sizes?
So I'd actually love to bring in my co-founder for that question, because she is the woman of the art, differently from me.
Hello, co-founder.
I'm Renata. Nice meeting you all. So firstly, you're going to answer a questionnaire, and you're going to fill out those informations. You can also send us a picture of your living room so we can create a real mock-up of your room with the different options of artworks. We're also gonna start offering 3D mock-ups so you can actually like see the work around, not just the two.
Even if you want to move your furniture, she was the other day working with a client and kind of like carrying the little sofa around with an app and kind of like comparing the different sizes. So technology really does give us that capability of testing everything out.
So then how are you paid? How do you make money?
We sell prints. Essentially what we do is we sell prints. I'll tell you a little bit about the unit economics. We've sold 1,100 prints since inception in early 2017.
What is your average sales price?
Our average sales price is around $200, which would transform into a print price of $40.
You pay the artist how much?
We pay the artist a royalty on sales. So we pay them on the top line.
I see.
And it varies case by case, but it gravitates around 20%.
How big are you now? What's your sales volume?
So last year we did about $200,000 worth of sales. We're doubling that in the first part of the year this year. So we've.
Wait, you said you're doubling. Yeah. Does that mean you've done 400,000 for the first half of this year?
No. We've doubled the volume of the first half of last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're up about 100% year over year.
Okay.
Yeah.
You two are operating both from New York City?
Both from New York City. Yeah.
You have to fly back and forth to Brazil for this?
Our CTO is amazing. He runs a team of 5 in Brazil, which costs literally 1 person here. He's been with us from day one, and he knows all of the needs.
We spent a lot of time together in the very beginning, and we think alike, so we understand each other. And nowadays, with WhatsApp and all of the other communication tools, we're constantly together, even though we're physically separate.
Terrific. Well, we're going to probably need a bunch of superhero-themed art here in Hero City. So we're happy to take a look. Well, thank you so much for coming to Meet the Drapers.
Thank you for having me.
Great to see you, Alpha. Alpha.
It depends on your mood.
Nice
You can be Alpha or Alpha. Alpha.
Terrific.
Guys,
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
How was it?
I was very nervous.
It was amazing.
Yes, but it was very nice sharing with the Draper family.
I think the questions were very perceptive.
Yeah, and the feedback they gave us was very interesting, but we are looking forward to answering a few of the questions that were left in the air, because I think we have more to share, for sure.
Much more.
Yes.
So much more.
So, what did everybody think of Alpha?
I like them. It took me a while to get the business model, but I think if they like targeting interior designers and make their jobs easier, there may be something serious here. I think the price point is a little high, but that's for me as a consumer. Maybe these boutique hotels do pay that much for art.
I think what they're doing is cutting out the middleman.
Yeah.
And the middleman has been somebody who's charged sort of an arm and a leg to say, I'll tell you exactly where to put everything. You know, it'll be, whereas instead they just kind of go, we'll try that, and that, and ship it to the 500 rooms we're putting up.
I've always wondered when I'm in a hotel room, who does that art? How did that art get? Because then you go to the room next to it and it's sort of similar in the same vein. Right. You think, oh God, who chooses this? And the idea that an algorithm is basically choosing it for them, it could probably do exactly the same thing as whatever this decorator has been doing.
And would you say more often than not, is it like a good thing, like, wow, who chose these art? Or is it like, oh God, who chose these art?
Sometimes, yeah, it depends. And I guess that would still be open. It's usually kind of
in the middle.
It's always in the middle.
Chuck, how about you?
2 female founders with experience and traction. It doesn't really get much better than that. To date, over 40% of funds raised have gone to female founders. So the crowd is wise and they back the female founder.
Okay, well, let's bring on the next contestant. I'm looking forward to seeing what we got next. But before we do, let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
Jen Edmond, Event Hollow. I was a wedding planner and florist here in the Bay Area for almost 10 years. And I worked with over 350 couples, thousands of wedding vendors, and as a wedding planner, I can only do so much to help them. So we've created a marketplace in the events industry that allows couples who are planning their weddings to book wedding vendors instantly and services. We've productized the entire service industry. So whether it's caterers, hair and makeup, DJs, wedding planners, photographers. I'm super excited to meet them. I mean, we all know the Drapers, and I feel really prepared. I've done this a million times. I feel really prepared to pitch, yeah.
So we've got our next contestant, Event Hollow. Welcome to Meet the Drapers. Please give us your pitch.
Hello, my name is Jen Edmond, and I'm founder and CEO of Event Hollow, the platform marketplace for services in the wedding industry. So the problem we're solving is something that everybody can relate to. Most people get married at some point in their lives, and it's a very, very stressful, very expensive endeavor, and something not many people know much about, and it's a very broken, very fragmented industry. On the other side of that are vendors, and these are all artists, these are all creative entrepreneurs with virtually no way of actually doing their business in a way that is efficient with virtually no tech tools. So what we've done is we've created a solution that has simplified and automated the entire booking process. And it all starts with an intelligent pairing system and also packages that are automated and also standardized for every single category. So whether it's floral design or catering or wedding planning, photography, whatever it is that you're looking for, you could pick a package that works for you and your budget. And then all the vendors that are paired to you based on the results of the style quiz that you take are put in order of most compatible based on style, as well as availability. All of the vendor calendars are perfectly synced up with our platform, so it's super easy to see who's actually available for your date and who's going to be best for you. So you pick a professional that works for you, start building your team. So you could get your bartending, your calligrapher, your photographer, hair and makeup, build your team to however big or however small you want it to be, and get a completely custom and immediate quote as to how much you're going to spend on your wedding before you even spend a dime. So with this solution, this actually makes it so much easier for vendors and couples. Now couples can essentially purchase anything instantly, which really fixes their problem of not knowing how to navigate this very difficult industry. And for vendors, it allows them to never have to ever write another proposal again.
And the vendors advertise?
No, they don't actually advertise.
So they pay you to be on the site?
No, they don't. We only take out a percentage for every booking.
So they pay you for the referral?
We just take out money whenever they actually get booked. So they actually don't lose anything to be on the platform. It's a free platform for both vendors and clients.
And then do you rank them based on how people do?
That is something that will be launching in the future iteration.
It'd be kind of a Yelp for weddings too?
Exactly. So there's a whole review system that's built in. We only take the best of the best vendors and the ones that are actually affordable to the mass
I must have missed something. Why are you any different from a wedding planner?
So we'll actually be replacing the wedding planner altogether. I've been a wedding planner and a floral designer for the last 10 years, and we've all been seeing our jobs just becoming obsolete in the next decade. With this whole rise in the DIY trend of couples being encouraged to do things themselves, it has dramatically affected our abilities to sell our products and like our planning and design. So all of us wedding planners see like, we're not gonna be around for the average wedding anymore. So this essentially is just helping couples actually plan their weddings better, because we're not gonna be able to go backwards and change how...
What are you doing differently if I hired you as a wedding planner?
She's cheap.
We actually eliminate it. You don't have to purchase a wedding planner at all. Eventually.
Wedding planner doesn't, you don't need one.
I know, but what do you do that really is different from a wedding planner? I don't...
A lot, you as the user can never have to use a wedding planner at all. You become the wedding planner.
You cut out the middleman.
You know what I mean? You cut out the middleman. So like for me, as a wedding planner...
You're getting paid some way or other.
Right, we take 20% of every package booked as the platform that does the
How much
connection.
does a wedding planner normally take?
Average wedding in San Francisco is $40,000 right now.
And the wedding planner takes?
There's no percentage. It's just usually flat rate. So
Which
typically
is about
$4,000, $8,000, $10,000 depending on the service that you want, level of service. So if it's full planning, day of coordination.
And how do you make money?
We take 20% of every package booked. So every single category that is in here, so that's hair, makeup, everything.
We're not saving very much by doing it.
Oh yeah, no, you don't pay an increase of a 20%. You pay market value. The vendors pay it because they did not have to manage that booking at all. You as a couple only have to ever look at one contract. We manage the entire booking and the entire platform ourselves.
So that 20% comes out of
the vendor. So you as the
And
client,
the vendor gives you the 20% because you're getting them.
Yeah, but we pay them out. So we just take it out and then pay them the 80.
do you provide curated packages, or are there certain like experiences, or what can I do as a, you know, if I'm a potential husband to basically get out of something I don't want to do?
Exactly. So this makes it so easy. You don't have to.
You mean
I just meant the event planning, not the marriage. The event planning's horrible.
It is. It's terrible. And this makes it so that way you don't have to ask anyone for proposal ever again. You don't have to wait for their availability. All that early communication is gone. This makes it so that way when you're looking for something that you want, it's immediately available to you right now. So there's no more having to go and meet with all these people before, say, who do we want? Do we look at this proposal? This person's worth $4,000, this person's worth $3,000. Which one do we go with? When you're looking at a photographer who charges $3,000 and one who charges $8,000, and their packages are wildly different, how do you compare value and understand what's right for you?
How did you get your first 10 paying customers, and how do you plan to get the next 1,000?
Sure. We launched next month, so we don't have any real paying customers yet, but we do have over 300 vendors in the system already that have already signed all LOIs to start pushing in their customers as soon as we launch. And so every one of these vendors has at least 60 weddings per year. So once we have that, we have roughly access to 18,000 couples as soon as we launch.
I was interested in your name, which isn't anything close to wedding, and yet you're focused on wedding. It sounds like you're also thinking that you might do other events and
So I'm the expert in the wedding industry, and it's also an industry that's really ripe for disruption. The wedding industry is the very first for us to hit, but social events is next. I mean, so as soon as a bride is done planning her wedding and she wants to plan her baby shower now, she can look back and see who did her cake for her wedding, and now she wants to book that same person again. It's a great way to be able to see who you've booked before, who you've liked, and see also who's new for you too.
Well, terrific. Thank you so much for coming to present Event Hollow at Meet the Drapers.
Nice to meet you.
Terrific. Nice meeting you.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
I did great. So yeah, I felt confident, and I really know a lot about my company. I mean, it's definitely different to pitch on stage with lights and in that sort of format, but not questions I haven't heard before. I've heard all these questions at some point, but definitely, different ways how I could present in a certain order. I mean, they would have liked to hear about the competition earlier, but every time you pitch somebody, they want to hear it a different way. So, you can only do what you do. So we've been in alpha for almost a year now, and so we've learned a lot during this alpha, and so we actually get to launch our products.
So, what did everybody think of Event Hollow? Chuck?
She briefly mentioned something that I think could be pretty explosive potentially for her, was that she was working with a lender to come up with a loan product for people getting married. That could accelerate her business and profit quite rapidly. So it's something that personally I would look into more to find out what's going on with that, because it could be great for her.
Polly, how about you?
I would like to actually see the personality quiz that you have to take. I mean, she says there's a lot of questions that they ask about the vendor, like, can you work with this person for this length of time? Can you do, which is, I think, a great thing, but nothing beats meeting the person first before you hire them.
How about you, Ken?
I really like her. I think she has true domain expertise, obviously passionate about what she's been doing and wants to be doing for a long time. A two-sided marketplace is a very, very difficult business model to execute. That's the one that gives me pause, and I like the fact that she's thinking beyond wedding, but do the events require as much thought process and curation, the expenses that involve with a wedding, or is it something that people can go on Thumbtack? So I'm still I'm on the fence on how bought in I am.
When I asked her the question, what do you do with the customer afterwards, she didn't say anything. Like, she just said the brides would tell each other and it would grow. But then she told us, well, she's going to plan other events. Well, that's how you hold your customer. Right. So she missed something completely there, but otherwise really positive energy coming from her. I thought, wow, she will make something happen. Yeah. This market is so busy. There are too many. And you talk about Thumbtack. I've seen 50 businesses on improving the experience of a bride. And they're all trying to automate and do all the things that she's doing. Maybe it's just get the look and feel just right, but it's so competitive. And it's pretty easy to copy. So I'd be concerned about that. But boy, If you're just going to invest in people, that is a good person to invest in. Let's bring in our next contestant, our final one for the day. And before we do, let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
My name is Mark Thomas. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zen Sports. So I've been personally, a devout sports fan for 30 plus years and have been in sports betting for about 25 years personally. So I really felt like there was a way to kind of marry the two together. Zen Sports is a peer-to-peer sports betting marketplace that eliminates the bookmaker, where anyone can create and accept sports bets with anyone else across the world. Super excited. I mean, you can't be in Silicon Valley without knowing who the Drapers are. I've been in tech for the last 11 years, so they're iconic for sure. So very excited to, talk with them. I'm sure their, continued passion for cryptocurrency will resonate, with what we're doing. So yeah, very excited.
Terrific. Welcome back to Meet the Drapers. We've got a new contestant, our third contestant of the day, and we're really excited to see Zen Sports. Welcome to Meet the Drapers, and give us your pitch.
Thanks for having me. My name is Mark Thomas, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zen Sports. Most people, when they think of sports betting, they think of some back alley transaction with a mobster who's gonna send Johnny No-Thumbs over to your apartment and break your kneecaps if you don't pay off your gambling debts. Well, the reality is that sports betting is actually a very highly regulated $120 billion industry worldwide. But despite the fact that it's such a huge, highly regulated industry, there exists a ton of problems with traditional bookmakers. They charge huge fees, provide almost no value add, and worst of all, they only make money when you, the customer, loses. I don't know about you, but that's not the kind of person I wanted to be doing business with. So I'm going to tell you the 4 ways that Zen Sports is disrupting the bookmaker and putting the power back in the hands of consumers when it comes to sports betting. First of all, we've built a beautiful, clean mobile app that's entirely peer-to-peer that allows anyone to create and accept sports bets with anyone else in the world without the need for a bookmaker. You want to create a bet that the Warriors are going to beat the Lakers? Cool, we'll match you up to somebody who thinks the Lakers are going to win. You want to create a bet that LeBron James is going to walk out of halftime wearing purple sneakers? Awesome, we'll find somebody else who thinks the opposite. Second of all, we use cryptocurrencies to get around big brother financial institutions that oftentimes decline fiat payments for betting products. We even developed our own cryptocurrency utility token called Sports that people can use to bet with. That is also the center of our loyalty and rewards program. With Sports, you can earn discounts on betting fees, cash back, and other cool perks based on your betting volume. We're also fully decentralized when it comes to resolving bets. We don't get in the middle of resolving bets at all. We have a full penalty and reward system in place to make sure that all parties act in good faith. Lastly, our product is mobile, social, and fun. If you want to bet with somebody across the world anonymously, you can do that. But if you want to create and share bets with your friends and buddies, you can do that also. Text bets to them, post them to Facebook, share them on Twitter. We launched about 7 months ago, and since that time, we've done over 10,000 bets. We've done over $1 million in betting volume. We're generating over $10,000 a month in revenue, and our unit economics are awesome. We have a really cool team with prior startup, fundraising, and acquisition experience, and I'd love to talk with you about joining the next revolution of sports betting and how we're eliminating the world of middlemen, one bookmaker at a time.
So how did the ICO go? How much did you raise? How big was it? Or did you just list the token?
So we didn't do an ICO because we didn't want to jeopardize the utility status of our token. Our token is truly used in-network by our customers for betting purposes.
How much do you give away to customers to get them going?
Right, so they can get our token in one of 2 ways. Either they can purchase our token in our app for a 5% fee, but there's a 50% rollover requirement, so you must wager at least 50% of that. So again, to keep our utility status so that people don't buy it in our app for speculation purposes. And then secondly, we do have our token listed on an exchange called Dcoin, where if people want to purchase it there and then send the tokens into our app, they can do so. One of the things that we want to do here is actually build an entire ecosystem around our token. Actually allow you to use our token to buy tickets to the game, bet on the game while you're at the game, use it to buy your favorite team's merchandise, stuff like that.
Yeah. The 10,000 bets, how many individuals does that make up?
So we have over 300 paying customers. And so each customer depends on kind of their volume, but they place anywhere from 3 to 5 bets per week.
And how weird have the bets gotten?
They're actually, for the most part, pretty standard. They're over, under, win-loss, point spread type bets. with 70% of our bets being on soccer.
On soccer.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But we do get
global soccer.
Yeah. But we do get some very interesting bets like, will teams come out in a certain jersey color? Or I think the craziest one we had is, will the referee get injured?
And betting, is it considered a game of skill? And that's why you're able to do this and avoid all of the regulations around all the states?
We've chosen to play by the rules and get licensed. So we are operating only our daily fantasy sports piece here in the US right now. We are operating all of our other types of traditional over-under, point spread bets, et cetera, in over 125 countries outside the US. So 90% of our business right now is international.
And Mark, it's an exceedingly competitive space. Lots of people have made a lot of money over the past decade or so on betting and gambling online. How are you going to win this game here? You have 300 paying customers. How do you take it to 300,000 and 3 million and beyond?
Yeah, so that's what we're using this funding for, is really marketing and growth. This is a very big marketing play. So the top 3 ways that we're doing that are through referral bonuses and affiliates. In fact, just tonight we're actually launching a referral bonus program, so you can earn 1% of the betting volume of anyone you refer into Zen Sports by referring them into it.
Sign me up.
Yes, exactly. So, and then social and influencer channels also that we're going to be tapping into.
Is a token the only thing that makes you different from DraftKings and FanDuel? Is that what separates you from those two, or is there something else?
We feel there's 2 key things that differentiate ourselves. That is absolutely one of them, and that's not trivial, because the loyalty and rewards program that we built around our token is super sticky. Like, people are earning cash back based on their betting volume. They're coming to us. Whereas if you bet with DraftKings, you're earning like sweaters and t-shirts and stuff. Nobody cares about that. The second is our fee structure. By being decentralized and 100% peer-to-peer, we're able to cut our costs down drastically. They charge 12 to 15% of your bet amount, whereas we're charging between 0 and 4%.
But it's hard to win on just on price, because then you'll have a race to the bottom and nobody will make any money.
Right. So, I mean, I think those are kind of the 2 key differentiators for that company. We also have the fact that we're mobile and social, whereas DraftKings, you can't like create bets and share them with your friends via social media. You can't do all the escrowing between your friends as well. You can do all that stuff with our product.
How big are DraftKings and...
So DraftKings and FanDuel, they're both valued well over $1 billion.
But that's me betting Dad.
No, that's
something.
3 trillion. There's 3 trillion volume flowing through the ecosystem.
Is that right?
Yes.
So this is 120 billion
revenue.
Online.
Yes, revenue opportunity. 3 trillion in bets flowing, with 120 billion being the actual rake or take of traditional sports bookmakers.
Wow.
And I would just say in general that outside the US, sports betting has been around for decades. It is a much more mature market, but is ready for technology like this to overtake traditional bookmakers. The US is still, of course, much earlier on, but we feel good because we're obviously getting it at the ground level.
Well, how about your own background? Are you a habitual gambler?
I think it's a great question. Let's just say I love sports betting, and I've definitely placed a wager or 2 in my life. But yes, I've been doing sports betting for 25 plus years on my own. It's a very painful, friction-filled process right now, whereas we help people get started using it in a minute or 2.
Great. Well, thanks so much for coming in to meet the Drapers and tell us about Zen Sports.
Yeah, I appreciate your time.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it went really well. Really enjoyed meeting the Drapers and getting a chance to talk more about Zen Sports. Sometimes people get hung up on the regulatory piece, but I think that that also is what makes us defensible as we grow and scale. It becomes harder for others. It just kind of reinforces that we need to just keep plugging away, doing the right thing, getting all the regulatory pieces ironed out, and then just doing the typical thing, which is execution. So the next few months is just going to be almost entirely exclusively focused on marketing and growth.
So, Zen Sports. Chuck, what did you think?
I'm a fan of platforms that can, especially in the sports book world, can take it off the streets and bring it digital. There's definitely room for disruption. There's definitely a place for this business in that industry to be profitable. So yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of it. I'd even make a bet about it on Zen Sports with you.
Ken, what did you think?
The one thing I like about it is that it's a crypto project that's actually working, which is not something that you see very often these days. but I still don't know what his edge is. And 300 paying customers, that's respectable, but he hasn't really said how he's going to get to 3,000. On the other hand, no one has been doing it, and this guy has domain expertise. I'm definitely on the fence on this one as well. I have to think about this a little bit more.
300 customers have bet $1 million. That's like $3,000 per customer. Somebody's betting a lot.
I would invest because he's good. The betting, I mean, that can go to the moon. There's just, the market is huge, and it's just a question of how he bites it.
Okay, well now we're going to have to choose. Is it Zen Sports, Event Hollow, or Alpha? You choose on which one you think should move forward to the semifinals. Alpha has a new way of spreading art throughout the hotel world. Event Hollow is changing the nature of weddings, and Zen Sports is making it so you don't have to go to a back street and do a sports bet with some bookie. I think that they're all really interesting. They've all got pluses and minuses. I want to hear from each of you.
So my vote to advance to the semifinal round would be for Alpha. Two experienced founders with traction. I mentioned that before. They're still very early. To me, that's a good time to get involved with the company.
I voted for them too. I really liked those two girls, and I like the idea of female entrepreneurs.
I thought Event Hollow and Zen Sports pitches were better, but I would go for Alpha as well, because the other two models are far too competitive.
Well, they're so different.
They're so different, yeah. I think I probably give the edge to Alpha also.
I think it's time to bring in the contestants. So let's see what we got. And I'll go to the crystal ball and we'll figure it out. So we've come down to it. Which of these three groups is going to go on to the semifinals? Welcome back onto the stage. Thanks for being here. You all are doing really great, exciting, important things, so we really appreciate all that you're doing. It is a really tough one. Today was the toughest one I think we'll ever have. Let's start with Event Hollow. On the plus side, you have extraordinary energy. You know your business cold. You know exactly where you're going with it. You are going to simplify the experience for everyone. On the downside, it hasn't been tested yet. It's not out there enough. We're not sure about the brand name. Hollow left us a little hollow, and we're concerned about a lot of competition for that business. Moving on to Alpha. You're in an interesting niche. My concern is that the marketplace isn't big enough. It's a niche that you do have real strength in. You have great expertise. You know exactly where you're going with it. You have to sell both sides of it. You have to work with the artists and sell the hotels or whoever. I think the AI part of it is kind of unique, that you could potentially use artificial intelligence to sort for art. There may be upside to it. I'm concerned about market size with you. Zen Sports, you clearly know your business, and you have uniquely figured out how to navigate the regulation areas that have made it very difficult for both sports betting and crypto. You're doubling down on regulation by doing so. The market size is huge, but you have monster competitors in your field. So I'm not sure how this is all going to go. I'm still, to this moment, I have not yet chosen. I haven't chosen. But so I have to channel with the ball, the crystal ball, and I don't even know if the crystal ball's going to help me here. This has been really kind of an exciting day, because I've been struggling with who goes to the semifinals. And the good news is that whoever we choose will go immediately to the semifinals, and get the option for $10,000 from us, $20,000 in branding from Brand Capital, and of course the ability to do the crowdfunding with Republic. But even if you are not selected, the crowd is voting in 3 of our finalists. So you got 2 shots on goal here. So I'm going to go to the crystal ball. Crystal ball. Alpha Zen Hello. Ooh. Oh, I've got it. It's Alpha. Congratulations. Congratulations. Good job. I hope that the group votes for you guys and gets you in too. Yeah, but good job. That was really wonderful. Congratulations. We'll see you next week on Meet the Drapers. Family. By the way, welcome to the family.
Yes.
You've just been adopted as Drapers, so thank you all for being a part of the family.
I bet you're.
But now that you're a part of the family, there are a few things that we do. No one bets more than 5 cents. So the bet is 5 cents, and you are the over 600,000 on the crowdfunded. I'm under.
And this is
weird because I'm usually the optimistic one. So, and I am optimistic about how much these people are able to raise on crowdfunding. But anyway, that's great. Okay. We got to do it. Here we go. 5 cents. By the way, that's the maximum bet that a Draper does. So, you know, a 5 cent bet's a big deal.